And we start with breaking news across the border and a devastating scene unfolding at a movie theater in Colorado where a gunman opens fire at the premiere of the new Batman movie in a Denver suburb. At least 14 are dead, 50 injured, but those numbers could rise. Brian Dunstan is following the story now and joins us with the latest details. And this story is a big story and it has many scenes and many developments. Bring us up to speed, if you will.
Well, Alex, imagine this. You walk into a movie theater to see what many are calling the biggest movie of the year, The Dark Knight Rises, an intense, dark film. 20 minutes in, about 20 to 30 minutes in, the gunfight takes place on screen. All of a sudden, the theater fills with smoke. People are screaming. People in the theater think this is all part of the theater experience until someone shouts out, "Oh my God, he's got a gun," and people are getting shot. Mass hysteria ensues, and it leaves 14 people, as many as 14 people dead, with 50 or more wounded. Alex, this happened at 12:30 at night, local time, in Aurora, Colorado. That's a small city just outside of Denver. It's got a population of about 335,000 people, not a huge city, so something like this happening there or anywhere has obviously created a sense of shock and outrage. Now, the gunman set off a bomb, a smoke bomb that apparently had some metal filings in it that injured people. He then randomly walked through the theater shooting people. Now, not only people at this theater in Aurora, Colorado got shot, but people in adjacent theater got shot as well as bullets passed through the wall. All told, 10 people died on the scene, 4 later at hospitals. Some of the wounded are in critical condition. They were all taken to 3 area hospitals. Almost 250 police officials, personnel converged. State and local police were on the scene. A mortician there is the one who described the bomb that went off as having metal filings. That's how we know about that. We heard from some eyewitnesses who were in the theater and around the theater. Let's take a listen to what they had to say.
I saw at least 4, maybe 5 people that were limping, wounded, slightly bloody. The most that I saw was a girl who was pretty much covered in blood, and she didn't have any wounds on her. So, I mean, it made me think the worst.
My friend Paul got a text, and he was just said that my friend had gotten shot, and so I was like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? What's going on? He's like, you know, pushing all of us away, and so my friend Steve, he was like, yo, he got shot. So we all run down to his house, and, you know, I'm here. You know, I'm not going to leave. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be at work at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm not going. I'm furious about the person that done this. Like, I don't understand why people do things like this. You know, it's crazy. It's disgusting.
Crazy, disgusting. Alex, we may have an answer as to why this occurred, because the gunman was taken into custody outside the theater at the rear parking lot, about to get into his car. He had a rifle, a handgun, and early reports are indicating he had a grenade on him. And the perpetrator of this crime also went on to say that he has explosives at his home. So police were dispatched there and checking. That report is unconfirmed at this time. Now, there were early reports that there was a second shooter in this case. Police are saying that does not seem to be the case at the time, and they have not released the identity or any reason or motive behind this shooting. As of now, though, Alex, with the numbers that we're hearing, at least 14 dead and up to 50 wounded. This is the worst mass shooting in the U.S. since the Virginia Tech shooting in 2007, in which 32 people were killed on that campus.
Yeah, and Brian, we're starting to hear the numbers, the ages of some of the victims. The age range from 3 to 45 years old. We don't know if any children were actually killed in this, but there are reports of critical injuries for some very young kids, I guess, who are at this movie.
Yes.
And a number still in surgery who are in critical conditions. So the numbers are expected to rise today.
Well, Alex, as you can imagine, I mean, this has been a movie that's been hyped since the last Batman movie came out, and that did $1 billion or more of business around the world. So this is a big showing. People were lining up and ordering tickets ahead of time. So it's going to appeal to the young and the old alike. I mean, it's the type of thing where it's a family atmosphere, and then all of a sudden, madness and terror ensues. We'll have more throughout the day as this story develops, Alex.
Yeah, we've got full coverage, and you know, interestingly, when these big kind of blockbuster movies come out, when the action heroes involved. You get a lot of people going to these movies, whether it be Star Wars, Batman, Spider-Man, and they dress up. And I'm sure a lot of people going to the movie wouldn't have thought twice about someone dressing up and going in. And of course, a lot of them may have thought that this was all just part of the fun of a guy coming in. And of course, I don't think a lot of them took it seriously, but when the firing started, that certainly changed to a lot of confusion.
Well, from what witnesses are saying, initially they thought it was part of the movie-going experience. You know, there's talk of a 4D movie experience. Well, that fourth dimension is the physical dimension. And what they're talking about is chairs moving, hearing sounds, smelling things. And that's what people thought when the bomb went off. It's just part of the movie-going experience. And then another witness who was right there said he saw the gunman come in through an exit. Now, that's unconfirmed at this time. So whether he was actually in the theater, dressed in some form of costume, as we've seen from much of the B-roll we've been showing, that people were actually at this movie in costume, as you detailed there, Alex. Whether that's the case or not, it's unconfirmed this time, but as it was, he went to the front of the theater and then opened fire after unleashing that bomb.
All right, well, we'll continue watching because, as I said, this is very early in its developments and there are several scenes unfolding there. Thanks, Brian.
No problem.
Incidentally, the shooting took place only 20 miles away from Columbine High School. It's just one more in a string of mass shootings in the U.S. in recent years, all leaving double-digit death tolls in its wake. So to show you some comparisons, the 1999 Columbine High School massacre led to the death of 13 people. In 2007, the Virginia Tech school shooting killed 32, and while the 2009 shooting on the Fort Hood military base had a death toll of 13. Here in Canada, we haven't seen shootings like this on that scale, the exception, of course, being the École Polytechnique massacre back in 1989. That's when 25-year-old Marc Lépine brought a rifle onto the Montreal campus, and he claimed he was fighting feminism. He opened fire, killing 14 women before turning the gun on himself. So to recap, the latest out of Colorado this year, at least 12. Some reports of possibly 14 people are dead, 50 hurt after a gunman opens fire at a movie theater in a Denver suburb. Police say they have a suspect in custody. They are looking to see if others could possibly be involved. They also have evacuated residents living in the same apartment building as the suspect following information that there could be explosives there. This mass shooting happened at the premiere of the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises. We'll be bringing you developments as they happen. Reporter Justin Joseph will be joining us from the scene in Aurora, Colorado, just a little bit later here on your AM agenda.